Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the FR Racing Garage Talk 110 here at Michigan International Speedway. My name is Eli Singh, and I am so excited to get started with you guys here today. This is my very first commentary with you guys, and I honestly could not be more excited if I tried. We've got a whole lot of fun in front of us right now. 10-minute practice, which is already finished. 5-minute two-lap qualification, which the drivers are going through right now. And 55 laps of racing coming up. We are here at Michigan International Speedway. An amazing track out in Brooklyn, Michigan, United States. 2 miles long, 18-degree turns, 12-degree tri-oval, little corner in the very back, as you can see at the very top with the start-finish line. And the back stretch is slightly banked at 5 degrees. It's going to be a lot of fun here. Lots of potential action between all of these drivers. Tyler Lugavickery, Coden McAravey, Colton Gartner, Hunter Hughes, Mark Vickers, Eric Richardson, Brian McKinney, DJ Fluke, Justin Nieves, Eric Bloom, Scott McCarris, Justin Wexberg, and Kyle Fluke are our Season 5 driver entries. Now, I do not see quite all of them here tonight, but we do still have quite a few of them here tonight. It is going to be a heck of a time. I do want to go ahead and take a look at our calendar for this season, since this is the season opener. We got a lot to be excited about for the rest of this season. Our season starts here January 11th at Michigan International Speedway, and we will conclude March 15th at my home race, the Phoenix International Raceway. That's where I'm from. And ironically enough, I might even be moving out to Michigan sometime soon. So I'm kind of going back between.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to year 2. 55 laps.
Let's go ahead and listen to the radio for a second.
25. And again, if you want a black flag cleared, it will be reviewed by the competition committee after the race, and you may be required to forfeit your position if it was an incorrect clear.
All right, I think that was our call for our radio for everybody. Now, before we get into this thing, I do want to thank our sponsor, Garage Talk, FR Racing's Garage Talk. This week's race is brought to you by FR Racing's Garage Talk Wednesday night dash drivers DJ Fluke and Eric Richardson as they highlight this week in motorsports and racing. On this week's episode, Eric and DJ sit down with Wednesday Night Dash Season 4 champion Tyler Vickery as he talks on location at New Smyrna Speedway about life at the local short track. That episode streams Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/FR Racing Online or wherever you download your favorite podcast. And upcoming here on Stadium Scene TV, this channel on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll see an all-new episode of House of Hockey. On this week's episode, Breezy and Ray discuss past, present, and future NHL team rivalries while sharing their favorites. Breezy recaps the Women's Rivalry Series game in Los Angeles as Team USA Hockey took on Team Canada Hockey and just how exciting it was and why she bought a jersey. Breezy had an epic meeting with the Los Angeles Kings in-arena host Mikey Alexander as she attended a Kings game. I am super, super, super excited to get into this with you guys. As I've already talked about, we are going to have so much fun here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at everything that we've got in front of us. Oh, we got a lot to get hyped about. Let me go ahead. Whoopsies. Looks like we are getting ready to go racing already here. Guys, I'm super, super excited. Like I said, my name's Eli Singh, and this is my very first experience commentating for you guys here on the Wednesday Night Dash, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I think we're going to have so much fun. We do have a couple, I would say, storylines to pay attention to here today. Wednesday Night Dash Season 3 champion Caden McAravey Jr. and Season 4 champion Tyler Vickery make their return to Wednesday Night Dash and are looking to defend their titles. You can see the drivers, I believe, they are already off. And we're underway here in Michigan International Speedway. We take a look at our leader. We got Colton Gardner and Hunter Hughes. Colton Gardner put it on pole today with a pretty solid lap. Let's see if he can go ahead and defend that pole position with a solid showing. We do see a pink car right behind. That looks like it could be Caden. I know it's a Toyota. It's Mark Vickers just behind. Everybody's starting out nice and chill. Nice and chill. No one trying to make any crazy chances. No, immediate first lap crashes, which is great to see. We don't want to see any of those. Go ahead and check out on Nieves, who is right behind Scott McCarris. Maybe going to be taking the bump draft. If he gets up close enough. I don't think he's going to be going for it. Look at that beautiful liquid death car. That thing's gorgeous. Honestly, one of my favorite things about iRacing is just watching everybody's liveries. And for me, I like to hold a little livery competition with myself as to who I think has the best livery. We go from the very front of the pack all the way down to the back as everyone's just kind of getting their tires warmed up. Hunter Hughes, what a pretty sweet, I will say. It's not too bad. The Finley. Right behind him is Colton Gardner. His is nice and pretty. That's the beautiful fire rescue car. You can see all the other cars kind of chasing each other down, playing really chill, not trying to go for anything crazy. Justin Nieves just lost a couple of positions in the back. I wonder exactly what happened there. He probably just got a little bit deep into the corner. I will say your first couple laps here on Michigan International Speedway are a little bit sketchy. Your tires are trying to warm up as quick as they can, and they are just really, really tough to warm up. But once they do get hot, you can start full sending it into these corners. It looks like that's what everybody's doing right now. The Bass Pro Shops car of DJ Fluke is trying to make a move on Justin Nieves, but he can't find a way through quite yet. Just behind them, that's Eric Bloom. He might be finding a way through as well. Justin Nieves putting the pressure on. He's not through yet. I wonder what happened to Brian McKinney. He's way back there. You notice everybody way, way, way far ahead. The McKinney is basically about as far away as it gets. You can see he can't even see them from the nose cam. I wonder if he happened to have started in the pits or something. I'm not exactly sure. But that's definitely not how you want to start your race here. The driver's little packs right there. It's a little bit of a pack of 4 up front. One person taking the really high side, one person taking a really low slide. It looks like Hunter Hughes taking the far low side and Colton Gardner taking the high side. Check out Colton Gardner in the Ford Mustang. He is actually behind Hunter Hughes now. And then right behind him, Caden Jr. Mark Vickers still fighting to try to hold each other off. The pink car on the bottom. A little bit of a disconnect. Don't even worry about that. Pink car, Mark Vickers, a little bit low. Is he going to be able to try to get in front? Not quite. I think he's just going to stay low and slow. Not go too close to the apron. Obviously, he doesn't want to unsettle the car, but he wants to stay in the groove to be able to get in front. And it looks like he has just nosed up in front of it. Yeah, that's Vickers through. You see Vickers now is still fighting Caden. Caden and Mark, they are giving each other a little bit of trouble in these opening laps right here. We do have 55 laps total, 6 of them already done and dusted, about 36 minutes of racing left to go. And remember, there is a middle of the race caution. We call it a competition caution to let everybody kind of get back up together and keep the racing close and competitive, which I think is one of the coolest things about this league, is the fact that they really care about the competition of the racing from start to finish, from green flag to checkers. And this little pack of 5 in the back right here, just behind the top 4, is very tight. Justin Nieves. Looking to go in the Bass Pro Shops. That is the Bass Pro Shops. I think Scott McCarris, I want to say. He's trying to make moves. Yeah, he is. Might be through now. No, it's not McCarris. I believe it's Wexberg. I'm still learning everybody's, yeah, it's, I believe it's Wexberg who's got the Bass Pro Shops. Yeah, it's Wexberg. I'm still learning everybody's livery right here. Ooh, the Wonder Bread just popped on through. What the heck just happened there? How did that Wonder Bread get up in front of that? That was a gorgeous little exchange. He's now through. And everybody's still playing it cool. No big ones yet, obviously. I was trying to just get through this first little bit of lappage and not crash with each other, because, you know, if one crash, we all crash, as we've seen plenty of times in these next-gen cars. Now, for those of you guys that are big stock car fans, you guys already know this, but those who are relatively new to the world of stock cars, these cars are the next gens. Old stock cars are known to basically be like 80-year-old technology. It's a bit of an exaggeration. They were about 35-year-old technology. And these next gens are a big step up in terms of the technology. Now, a lot of people were saying that the next gens feel too tame, you know, too easy to drive almost. And I gotta be honest with you, on the laps that I've turned around these things here in iRacing, they are not easy. They have a lot of understeer and really, you know, awkward spots, and they definitely can get loose almost without any sort of warning. So it still takes a lot of focus for these drivers to make it 55 times around this circuit. And speaking of focus right now, it's looking like Wexberg is really trying to focus to get up in front of Eric Richardson, but he's losing him. And the Wonder Bread car of Scott McCarris is just behind, just kind of looking for a spot. I think Scott McCarris right now wins my favorite livery of the night. Me, a Ricky Bobby fan, I just can never, you know, hate on a Wonder Bread car. Does look great. Up at the very front, I do want to give some love to the top two guys, Mark Vickers and Hunter Hughes. They're still keeping it close and competitive with Colton Gardner and Caden Jr. still falling right behind. The little snake is starting to form, but Mark Vickers looks to dive low. Not quite in the spot where he can get some draft out of him and create some dirty air. Gets right behind him. That's the move right there. All around the banking in the back. Just waiting for a spot. In my opinion, this corner right here, turn one, is one of the hardest corners. It's probably the hardest corner on the track because you're coming off that banking. I feel like it's a lot more awkward of an entry to get the car turned in and really rotate into the corner and not get it loose. So watching these top guys handle it with ease is always fun to see. Some other storylines that I want to go ahead and get covered before we really get into the meat and potatoes of this race where everyone starts making crazy passes, which, speaking of which, actually, before I get meat and potatoes, Mark Vickers is going to get down on the low side underneath Hunter Hughes. It might be enough to get through if he gets a really good entry here into one as they're coming around the banking. We got just about an eighth of a mile. Who's going to be last on the let-off? Looks like Mark Vickers still just barely a nose behind. Hunter Hughes keeps it. And is that going to let Colton Gardner get up? No! Mark Vickers drifts high. Gets back in the train. Decides, hey, you know what? Better to draft for a little bit longer. I trust these guys. Now right behind him, that's Caden Jr. trying to get up in there. I think Caden Jr. might actually have a spot. He did get right in front of Colton Gardner almost with no effort whatsoever. And that's left Mark Vickers a little bit out no man's land. Now there goes Colton Gardner. Down it. Now Colton Gardner down low underneath Caden Jr. He's way under the apron. Really low for Colton Gardner. He wants to just get on the flat ground, get away from that banking. Very interesting strategy. And it looks like he's through. Yeah, I like that move right there from Caden, using every single bit of track. You know, the groove doesn't exist in just one spot. It can exist wherever you want it to. And now Colton Gardner and Caden Jr. still battling it off lap after lap after lap. Lap 13 right now here of 55 for the FR Racing Garage Talk 110. And it has already been relatively interesting between Caden Jr. and Colton Gardner. Oh, they're getting really close right here. You can see on that right side suspension, they're almost neck and neck. It's so close between the two of them. You can see almost getting the dirty air off of Colton Gardner is definitely messing up Caden Jr. just a little bit. Not to the point that it's going to mess him up too bad. If you look at that right front suspension, going to be hauling down into turn 3. A little bit of left, no brake. And Caden Jr. goes a little bit wide, actually, in my opinion. I think that probably was not the most optimal line. He's going to lose out to Colton Gardner. Now he's going to sit back in the train. And Mark Vickers, you can see in front of him, 2 cars ahead, is right up in the back of Hunter Hughes. He is ready to pounce. As soon as he sees Hunter Hughes make a little mistake, he knows he's going to go for it. That's a wide line for Hunter Hughes. That's Mark Vickers through with almost no effort whatsoever. Just kidding now. Hunter Hughes going to get door-to-door with him. Oh, that was almost recipe for disaster, but they kept it cool, calm, and collected. And Mark Vickers will slot right back behind Hunter Hughes, but now goes for the dive on the inside, low into turn 3. And I think he's all the way through unless Hunter Hughes can really ring it around the outside. He's got a lot of speed up there on that high groove. High line doing justice for Hunter Hughes. He's basically just stuck up to the top side of the track from the start of this race. He really hasn't even dared to go below like halfway point of the circuit. And I think that's been, you know, working out pretty great for him now. The question is, how much is that going to wear out his tires as compared to Mark Vickers? Mark Vickers barely getting right behind him, coming off of turn 2. Very close. Wow, this has already been quite an interesting race. Now, for those of you guys that have paid attention to us for a while, you will have known that prior to mid-December, this series was actually supposed to be and IndyCar Series. Now, with iRacing losing the license to the IndyCar Series, we decided to make the switch to the NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series car, which I think, you know, is going to turn out to be some really great racing here, as we can already see between Hunter Hughes and Mark Vickers. They're going blow to blow, lap after lap. They're really not trying to mess around. They want to get in front of each other. Right behind them, you can see another little bit of battle. Justin Nieves is barely behind Eric Richardson. Again, from that nose cam, you can see just how close they are. Those 0.3 look farther, you know, from a nose cam than the seconds may suggest. 0.3 of a second is such an immeasurable amount of time to the average human. But in racing, that's everything. I'm going to go ahead and take a look. Mr. Caden Jr. The back of the pack here in this little exchange between the top four. Again, Mark Vickers just opting for the low line. Hunter opting for the high line. Corner after corner. It seems to be working out better for Hunter, but I think that might be Mark Vickers. Once again, getting up next to him. It's going to be really close going to this corner. This is my favorite view right here. You can see just how close it gets between these guys. And taking a look at Mark Vickers from the cockpit, you can see on the right side of him, it's totally out of view where Hunter Hughes is, just barely in front of him as he gets back up, and he's going to have to slot back behind and catch some more draft. These guys tracking around this corner, this track at 200 miles an hour. They're absolutely flying, going through four corners. Full commitment. Vickers can't find his way through. Still, same story from the start, but there goes a little bit of a dive. Is that Caden Jr.? He says, hey, get me down low. I can handle this. Look at that entry that he took into that corner. Turn 3 did him serious favors. He's going to exit at turn 4, still right next to Colton Gardner. He's going to have the low line coming around the final banking. No creative lines this time around. Nobody going down beneath the apron. And it looked like Colton Gardner had a good enough run to be able to get back out in front of Caden. Caden probably getting some bad drag. And so he'll have to stay behind. There's a little bit of squirreliness, though. What was that? I think that might have been Colton Gardner getting a little bit squirrely. Now he's going to pull out behind Mark Vickers. He's alongside. They might go 3 abreast. They decide not to. That was a bit brave right there from Caden Jr. at first. But now Caden Jr. right up on the bumper of Mark Vickers. Mark already getting passed by Colton Gardner. Great move from Colton Gardner. But now Mark wants to return the favor and get back up in front of him. Taking the low line again. He's going to have the run. Coming through the start-finish line. On the way to turn 1. Vickers in that low line has just been his best friend from start to finish so far. He's hardly even deviated for like maybe a lap and a half total. He gets back up in the train, and then he just gets down to the low line again, and he keeps riding it. But it's...
Can the leader let me know when you cross to lap 25.25?
Oh, just want to listen to the radio for a second. It's actually working out pretty well for him. I mean, he's still, you know, sitting in second effectively, but Colton Gardner is really giving him some trouble. Trying to get up and make a move. Colton Gardner now nose ahead of the Ford, or of the Toyota of Mark Vickers. Mark Vickers going to take that low line again, really dive into it, see if he can really commit that car and get the maximum amount of grip out of those tires. They are absolutely screaming. And now with this little 4 wide, there's almost door-to-door contact. There is a little bit of contact, just a light bump. Nothing to break paint off, though. Definitely not enough to cause a spin or a crash. So they're still just fine. Now in the back, I do want to give some highlights to Justin Nieves. He is working to get in front of Scott McCarris. Cannot find the way right yet. But that Liquid Death car, hopefully it's powered by Liquid Death, because I know that stuff gets me going every single time. For those of you guys that don't know what Liquid Death is, it's literally just water. But it's packaged in the most gorgeous little can. Sometimes sparkling water as well they make. And it is absolutely delicious, I gotta say. Best water I've ever had. Back on the front, I'm seeing Caden. Oop, the camera isn't quite switching to him. There it is. Right neck and neck still with Mark Vickers. Vickers now down to 3rd. Colton sitting in 2nd. Hunter Hughes still leading the race. Sets pole position, hasn't lost yet. And that's a really high line for Mark Vickers. Not something he's been practicing at all today. Let's see if that's showing in his ability to handle it. You can see he's just behind Colton Gardner getting the bump. Opts to lift a little early, dives the inside. There he goes. And he's going to be alongside all the way through the corner. The nose is just barely alongside the tail. But that blinking car of Caden just gets back up in there. And is that Eric Richardson making his way into the fight? He says, oh, you guys are having too much fun without me. Can I join? And they all say, yes, you can, Eric. Gladly. We'd love to have some more fun. Really taking the lowest line I think you can muster out of that car. Gets almost alongside the three of them. They almost touch all the way 3 wide. And that's a wobbly car.
Crossing start finish now.
Oh, that was seconds from disaster. But they kept it collected. That was freakishly close. I'm impressed. The fact they could keep it just wide enough. Now Eric Richardson kind of losing
Eric,
touch
can you
with
throw
them.
the caution? My caution isn't throwing.
Uh-oh. Having some minimal technical
Mine is
difficulties.
not either.
No worries. I'm going to go ahead and check out our boy, Hunter Hughes, just leading this race. Like nothing matters to him whatsoever. I'm going to check out his view from behind. Yeah, he sees some attacking cars, but they seem so far to him because he's just got clear road in front of him. I mean,
The caution won't throw.
imagine this view.
There we go.
There we go. Now we got the competition caution getting thrown. All the drivers slow,
Y'all, we're gonna
slow
slow up.
down.
Tell me to let the pace car by right now.
Pace car, I see it's out. We're gonna go ahead and go on Eric Bloom's car. You'll be able to see the
Sorry,
pace
guys,
car
my marker wasn't working either, so I'll check on
there.
that. We got it.
On the front left of him. Pace car is out. We are at the competition
I
caution.
even checked it before I got started, and it was working when in pre-race.
Uh-oh. Oh. That's all right.
Does anyone know where the pace cars are at? Is it coming up behind us now?
Behind us. It's right in front of me.
Yeah, the pace car kind of sandwiched between 5th and 4th place, right behind Mark Vickers. You can see right here. There he is. Scooting his way through. He's a little bulldozer. And they let him all through. Hunter Hughes will get back up in line. Let everybody catch up. Now, the reason why we throw the competition caution here for FR Racing is because we like competition, for lack of a better term. We want it to be as tight as possible for the racing from start to finish. And this is now going to allow every single one of the drivers to pit, get some tires, get some fuel, whatever they decide they want to do. Are they going to need to pit? That is one thing that I did not actually ask. So that's something I'm going to be learning. Here, it's looking like they are posturing for a pit. They are going to pit. Yep. I'm sure they're probably going to have to get fuel. More likely than not, is the biggest thing. We are in the pit lane. See the final car just turning in there. All the drivers getting their little top up before they get back out there, and they're going to have to go catch the safety car, the pace car, whatever you want to call it. Right around the middle of the backstretch. Look at them just fly away from that pit stop. They're trying to make some positions up in the pits. And I'm sure 1 or 2 people did. There looks like there'd be a little bit of jostling in positions out of the pits. And at the very back, it's the Bass Pro Shop car. I want to say that's Justin. Oh, Justin.
Yeah, hearing those
Unfortunate for Wexberg. He got the worst of it, and he's all the way in the back. Eric, though, actually, hold on. Eric might be the one who's even farther back. Oh, yep, Eric got the worst of it. Justin got the second worst of it. Unfortunate for him. Now, another little bit of a storyline for us to talk about. I do want to mention about the calendar that we talked about a little bit earlier. If we do go ahead and take a look at that calendar again,
up into you on that, like,
you do see that we are going to be heading to an awesome track here. We've got one street circuit here. It's the Chicago Street Circuit in February. I'm really excited to see this next gens go around the street circuit. That's going to be a ton of fun.
That right front just goes when it wants to.
Let's go ahead and get the volume back up so we can hear them. Oops, there we go. Everything reloads. The 72 car pulls out. 67 out front. And we are all back. Even Stevens behind the pace car. Now, I wonder what Hunter's strategy is going to be.
Pucker moment.
I wonder what his strategy is going to be. Is he going to try to
Just glance out the left side,
bamboozle the rest of these drivers on his restarters? Is he going to be a little bit more predictable? You know, I love to see
Yeah, well, I wasn't
500
quite paying attention
IQ
at the moment.
safety car restart. It's one of my favorite things to see. I think that's one of the most underrated
Scariest
skills
thing a race
in
car driver
racing
can say.
is your ability to restart a safety car or restart a pace car as well as you possibly can. And I want to see what strategies Hunter's got, if he's got that 500 IQ underneath him. Now, another thing I do want to mention, our wonderful, wonderful admin, Kyle Fluck, will be returning to the series. As you can see him racing right now. Actually, not today, but he'll be racing at some times on a part-time basis, basically racing all the even weeks. So week 2, 4, 6, and 8 type of thing. Let's see how
Familiarity
this
helps.
finishes. All the drivers talking about the familiarity of each other, which is really important in a situation when you're talking about drafts and all that such. Because as we all know, a draft
Restart zone is
can
enabled,
be
by the way.
a recipe for disaster. Stuff can go wrong really quickly. Now, speaking of stuff going wrong, let's see if stuff goes right. Stuff goes really right for Hunter Hughes. Look at that restart. He caught them napping. Colton Gardner might actually be in some serious trouble right now. I don't know. This is going to be something special. All these guys flying down to turn 1, and that's, again, the pink car of Mark Vickers. He's my favorite one to watch. He's sitting back in 4th now. Caden Jr. sitting in 3rd. Colton Gardner in 2nd. Hunter Hughes in 1st. Behind that top 4, we got Justin Nieves, Eric Richardson, Brian McKinney, Scott McCarris, Eric Bloom, DJ Fluck, and Justin Wexberg rounding out the back. You can see Justin Nieves is getting some pressure right now from the Wonder Bread. Eric Richardson flying down the low side of the track. He is all the way through. It looked like he hardly even had to work for it. Those tires warmed up, ready to go. Now he's going to put some pressure on Mark Vickers. I really want to watch Eric Richardson. He looks speedy right now. Can he handle it? They're going to go for the down low. I think he might have it. There he goes, finally. He's got it. A little bit in front of that, we got Scott McCarris. He's the Wonder Bread car. Scott. He made a sweet move on Justin, and now he's trying to look for one on Mark. There he goes, down low again. That's already worked for him one time. Can he make it work a second time? I think he just might have done it. I think he has it. He's going to get back up in front of the pink car. He cuts him off. Now he's up in front, sitting in 4th place. Wow, Scott is really making the most of this competition caution. But there goes Mark Vickers, trying to dive and return the favor. Again, down the low side. That's his favorite spot. Nose to tail almost between Scott McCarris and Caden Jr., but they decide to stay a little farther away. And there goes a really far drifting Mark Vickers. He's going to be chuffed. Earlier in this race, he was sitting pretty. Fighting for 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Basically fighting for 1st. And 2nd, lap after lap. And now he's all the way down in 5th. He's going to make a move on the Wonder Bread car. Takes it around the outside. We go high right in front of Mark Vickers. Let's go ahead and check out Mark Vickers' camera. You can see actually how close this racing is between all these guys. It's probably better to look at it from the left side. Really, really, really close between these top 4. Mark Vickers now back up into that 4th spot. He wants to snap off Caden Jr. and then get in front of Colton and challenge Hunter again for the lead. They've got 23 laps to go here, just over halfway through, just about 15 minutes left of racing. And it's looking like Colton Gardner can't find his way through either. Maybe. Hold on a second. Did I speak too soon? Colton Gardner on the high side now. Hunter Hughes having to defend on the low end. Colton Gardner technically in front by just a hair. But Hunter Hughes obviously going to have the advantageous groove, in my opinion. Being low, it seems like whoever's on the low side has been able to really challenge pretty hard. Now he's going to drift back up in front. And there's the Toyota back in front again. Hunter Hughes making it look pretty textbook. But Colton Gardner, after not fighting for the lead for basically the whole race, is now fighting for it in this second half. Takes the low end again. Is he going to get a better run out of this corner? That Ford needs to do some work for him. And it looks like it just might be doing some work for him. He goes really low, down all the way underneath the apron. And the Finley car of Hunter Hughes is trying to keep him down there. I can see him drift a little bit down low as well. Just to kind of scare him away from drifting back up. Mark, oh, getting a little bit of flipping. Don't even worry about that. Mark Vickers now back in 3rd. Getting a bump. He's right behind. Check out just how close these guys are. If he gets back up behind him again, you'll see exactly what I mean. I don't even know if he's going to try to get back behind him. Look at how far down low he is. Now, when he drifts back up, is he going to be back behind? Yeah, he is. He's actually pretty far away this time. No more bump draft anymore. But the car behind, Caden Jr., is going to try it himself. Again, look at how close these guys are. It's crazy how much trust they can have. Now, they were talking over the radio about how they've been racing with each other for years, and that's how they can have so much trust. And I think in a situation like this, you have to have immeasurable levels of trust with your fellow competitors. Otherwise, stuff can go wrong so quick. Down low, I do want to give some love to Justin Wexberg. Notice that the Bass Pro Shop hero started in last on the safety car restart. And look, he's already made up 2 positions. He does have quite a ways to go to catch up to all the way to the rest of the pack. It's a big gap. It's a really big gap, actually. I don't know if he'll be able to make that one really work and close that gap in the next 19 laps. That's what we've got. But, you know, if anybody can do it, Mr. Wexberg. Back up the front. Let's take a look at our race leader still, Hunter Hughes. He's led basically every single race, every single lap, minus like 2. He's been absolutely dominant this whole time. Has hardly even had to work for it. And I know that he's going to be happy about that. Because who really wants to work for a win when he can just have it come easy to you? You can hear some people having a sigh of elation. I'm not exactly sure who that was. But they seem quite excited about something. And again, there's Mark Vickers down low. Look at him. He's just kind of carving a path of his own. That 84 car gets right up in there. Holy smoke, rolling right behind the Ford. It is so close. Even the gyro. Sorry, the gearbox. You can see right behind him. That's Caden Jr. almost touching the rear end of him. It is very, very, very close racing here in the final stages of this race. Caden Jr. getting challenged by, it looks like Eric Richardson on the low side and Scott McCarris behind him in the Wonder Bread. It is super, super close. Coming down into this final 15 laps we're about to enter in just a couple turns. Line through turn 1 goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 car battle. 8 car battle, excuse me. Sorry, Brian. Missed you in the back. How could I forget? This is such a tight little group for the for the lead, effectively. All of them are honestly relatively still in contention for potentially grabbing a lead. You know, you could have one of these drivers make a little bit of a mistake, understeer a little bit too wide and go out into the barrier and, you know, bounce back out into the track. Boom, there's a big one. Somebody gets through all the wreckage and now they're, you know, fighting for the lead. Anything can happen here on these next gens. The race is nowhere near over. Down low, is that Eric Richardson? Oh my golly. Look at Richardson. Wow. He's trying hard. He's under pressure from, it looks like, Caden. He's sticking to that low side. Kind of doing the Mark Vickers strategy. We've seen it work for Mark for quite some time. They're basically too wide with a little bit of a snake forming. I think actually only Eric Richardson is going down low. Everybody else is kind of snaked up and relying on the draft from each other. So I wonder what Eric Richardson's advantage is. I think he's just got technically a little bit less track to drive around, because obviously, you know, that's how circumferences work. The lower you are, the less track you have to drive technically. And now Eric Richardson, oh my golly, look at how well that worked out for him. He's sitting in second place. Wow, that was absolutely gorgeous for him. Definitely couldn't have been better if he would have wrote the script for it. That little exchange has gained him a couple positions. Now right behind him, Mark Vickers is really trying to get in front. I think he's getting almost attacked right now by Colton Gardner and Caden Jr. And in the back, let's give some love to the Wonder Bread. We have to give some love to the Wonder Bread. Where's Scott McCarris? He's kind of in a little bit of a spot of his own. Not really having to fight too hard, just kind of holding the draft. Saying, you know what, I'll let these guys carry me to a top 5 finish. I think he might be kind of sizing up the competition, waiting for his opportunity to snap a move later in this race. Oh my gosh, man. This is just such a tight little battle between everybody. 4 of these cars. The top 4 all just totally scrapping it. Hunter Hughes is really under pressure right now. I think that might be Eric Richardson actually getting all the way through. It just might be. Wow, Eric. I think he's through. Yeah, he is. And now Colton Gardner is dropped back. Hunter Hughes sitting in second. Mark Vickers in third. Colton Gardner in fourth. Hayden, you can see him dropping low, trying to get in front of Colton now. These guys are tussling lap after lap. I do want to kind of check out Caden because he's a little bit of a spicy one. I kind of see him making some pretty aggressive dives here and there. And right now he's got the side-by-side with Colton Gardner, who has fallen from second place all the way down to fifth now and is almost about to be under pressure by the Wonder Bread, but not quite. Eric Richardson, though, he's the man with a plan right now, sitting in the lead after a pretty solid exchange with Hunter Hughes. Went his way. Mark Vickers also still so close. Taking that low end. Again, just sticking down low. Start to finish. Nose to tail. Wow, that's so close. Look at how close he's getting to that Toyota. Oh, but he covered him off. Look at that smart defense from Hunter Hughes. Knew that Mark has been, you know, very favorable of the low side of the track since the beginning of this race. And says, you know what? I'll take that line too. I can see you got nowhere to go. And that's exactly what happened. He had absolutely nowhere to go. Flying around turn 3. Still a 7-horse race up at the front. You can see the two stragglers in the back, and then 2 more that are way far back. The number 10, 10th and 11th place, DJ Fluke and Justin Wexberg. Wexberg, you know, I was giving him a lot of love earlier because he had really done a great job with that restart, but something must have happened to him. He's now just lost entire touch with the pack. 10 laps to go, and he is nowhere to be found compared to the guy that's up at the front. The number 1 guy being Mr. Eric Richardson. All the guys behind him starting to kind of fall back in line. Not fight too hard. Caden Jr., though, has dropped so many positions. He must have had a little bit of a bad exchange. Now he's all the way down in 7th, fighting Brian. Caden, just, that's a nightmare for him. He was sitting up at the very front. Like I said, a little spicy of a driver. I think he can still fight his way up to the front, but he's got a lot of work to do, sitting in the very back of this pack. We're going to go on Colton Gardner, the 40 car. Check out from the inside of the car. As that gyro cam kind of watching it from the perspective of the roll cage with a little bit less camera rotation. Speaking of which, though, let's go ahead and go on the roll bar. You can see actually how angled this back banking is. It doesn't seem like too much, but it actually is a pretty decent amount of anglage. It really is quite something to feel when you're in the car. Up at the front, Eric Richardson still showing us all how it's done. But now I think Hunter Hughes is trying to say, hey, no. I've had that spot for basically the whole race. It's mine. Give it back. And he's looking for it, but it doesn't exist yet. Hunter, is he just hunting for a mistake, pun entirely intended, or is he trying to just force the error and maybe make a brave dive on an inside? You know, remember, if he does make a brave dive on the inside, it's probably going to force him to go high up on his way out of the corner. He's probably going to understeer pretty hard on his way out of the corner. So, you know, the risk versus reward. Oh, actually, he touched the wall. Oh, speaking of which, literally as I was talking about, steering on his way out of the corner, I think he tried exactly what I was talking about, and he smacked the wall right there. Whoopsies. Hunter Hughes falling prey to my signature commentary curse. I'm so sorry. He's my first victim here for FR Racing League. Oh, man. It was bound to happen at some point, and it happened a lot sooner than I thought was going to in my tenure here with you guys. It only took us 48 laps, and someone's already fallen prey to it. That's pretty funny. And the Wonder Bread car, oh, gets a little bit of a nose in the quarter panel of Mark Vickers. Vickers saves it. What a save from Vickers. But Scott is like, hey, that's just a warning tap. Let me through. The Wonder Bread Wonder Machine is through, and now I think Mark Vickers is so unsettled, he's going to have trouble defending against Colton Gardner. That was almost disastrous, but they kept it close. They kept it tight enough. It's still side by side, going through the start-finish straight. Mark Vickers getting the draft from Scott McCarris. That was really close for sure. Wow, Colton Gardner, the 40 car, getting almost down to the apron. But the pink car, the Pepto, I may as well just call Mark Vickers' car the Pepto-Bismol car. Because he kind of does look like Pepto-Bismol. Now, I do want to mention, though, because of that little contact between Scott and Mark, it's allowed Hunter and Eric up in the front to just gap them out by a pretty large margin. Now it's kind of like they're in the race of their own for the last 5 laps, because we are now down to the final 5 laps. And it's everybody else's, fight to play for. It's really a fight for third right now and a fight for first. That's kind of how it's going. Look at the number 8 car, the Milwaukee Tools of Brian McInnes flying down. That was sweet from McKinney. I loved that. It didn't quite work out for him, but it was aggressive. And I'm a fan of that. There's another aggressive move from the junior. Caden down low. Now technically alongside Gardner. Totally in front of McKinney. McKinney trying to switch back on him. Now he's going to have the low side. All his banking. Going to get down underneath the apron on the flat track. Gets back up on the banking. And Caden is effectively through, but only just. It's not decided whatsoever. Hunter Hughes, though, I do want to point out, look at this gap at the front, guys. Hunter, after rattling the barrier, has seemed to lost a lot of pace. I mean, look at the way he's driving right here. Let's take a look at how he's holding this. It's still pretty, smooth. You can see not a lot of jolting. It's very calm and collected. But I think now he's just trying to finish the race. Once you rattle the barriers, it kind of scares you a little bit. But because of how safe he's been driving, check this out. Luke is right behind him. Scott McCarris in the Wonder Bread, after starting so far back, has had one heck of a recovery. He's all the way up into the podium spot right now, the final podium spot, sitting in third. He's doing well. Now down low, we do have another little bit of a battle actually going on between Brian and Caden, still fighting. Let's go ahead and check that one out. Oh, not just Brian and Caden. Whoa! The number 8, the number 40, and the number 3. All going through it. Colton, Caden, and Brian. And there goes Brian down the inside. Might have snapped Caden, or Colton, excuse me. Caden's the one up in front. Making up a couple positions out of that exchange. May have snapped Colton going to the turn 1. Maybe just not quite yet. We're on the second to last lap, the penultimate lap here of the FR Racing Garage Talk 110 here at Michigan International Speedway, and it has been one heck of a race so far. Now, going into this final lap, I wonder if we're going to see any brave dives from someone like Hunter. I know that this guy, the number 8 of Brian McKinney, is going to be going for it. You can see he really wants that spot back. He says 6th is good enough for me. I think I can handle that. Gets wide. Look at that. Drifts way high on his exit. That totally closes off the door on Colton Gardner. That was smart. Absolutely close out that door. And say, no, you can't get through now. And there goes Colton Gardner trying to get the low side. I thought he was going to do that. That was very smart. Back up in the front, we got to give some love to our leader right here, Mr. Eric Richardson. We're on the final lap. We're halfway through it. He's got such a lead, 0.7 of a second. What a way for Eric Richardson to drive today. He did not have the best start to the race, but it doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. And look at this guy go. He is going to be flying across the line. And I am
Good
so
job,
proud
Eric.
to say he has won our
Yeah,
FR
thanks,
Racing's
guys. Good
Garage Talk 110 here at Michigan International Speedway. Great race
That was fun
from
in the
Eric.
second half.
That was absolutely sweet. Hunter Hughes coming through in second. Scott McCarris in third. Mark Vickers in fourth. Caden Jr. rolls away in 5th. Brian
Good
McKinney
job,
in
Eric.
6th.
Well done.
Just snapped Colton Gardner to the line, who came through in
Thanks,
7th.
Jeff.
Justin Nieves in 8th. Eric Bloom in 9th. DJ
Woohoo!
Fluke
Time for
in
some
10th.
Justin's Malort,
And
Eric.
Justin Wexberg, after
Yes,
such a good safety car
indeed.
restart, or a pace car restart, unfortunately, the race just did not pan out for him.
And
in
you
the
really
back
came out
half
of
that
nowhere in the
race.
second half.
You can hear the drivers talking with each other. That was a great
think it
race,
was like
honestly.
6 or 7.
I love watching. That was a great
on
way
that
for me to
first lap
kick off
after
my
the
my
restart.
experience with you guys today. Obviously, y'all can tell there's a little bit of greenness in my voice when it comes to my knowledge of
Do you
the
talk three
of
up to go to the
the
booth or
oval.
anything?
But I do love it. I have so much respect for these drivers. They are some of the bravest
I mean, typically we do
drivers
race winner.
existing, and that was absolutely
Okay,
sweet.
well, I got third, so I was just wondering if I can get off or if I
gotta
should
give
stay
Eric
in,
Richardson
so.
some love. Let's see if we can pull him in to
I mean, typically
the
we've done
booth.
race winner only in the
Let's
past.
see what we can do.
That's cool. I'll see you guys later. Good racing.
Mr. Wildcat, how's it going?
Talladega next week.
Oh, I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Very excited.
Hello.
Good racing.
There we
everyone.
go.
There you go. How's it going?
Going good. That was a fun race.
Yeah, that was. Wait, okay. Your Discord name says Wildcat. This is Eric, right?
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations on your race win, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Okay, hold on a second. I was watching you struggle for the first half of that race. You were sitting in that, mid-pack area, and then after that,
I'm tired. Miserable.
competition caution, you came out with a vengeance, and there was that little exchange where, how many places did you make up? Like 4 positions?
I think I maybe ended up 6th or 7th. Got caught in bad line.
Yeah.
Or something, couple cars passed, and then just worked back.
It obviously worked out great for you. There was one moment where, I turned the camera back to some people in the back. I want to say it was Wexberg who I was checking out because he actually had a pretty solid pace car restart. And then you were sitting in like 3rd or 4th. And then I come back to you and you're leading the race. And I didn't even see you make that. Were you just putting a lot of pressure on those top guys, as soon as the caution ended? Or were you kind of trying to take it chill and just kind of, run your race?
Just kind of running my race. I learned a lot actually doing Xfinity at Auto Club a few weeks ago, whenever that ran.
And so you kind of realize that patience is the play here, and obviously, it worked out great for you. Do you find yourself to have a lot of success at these high-speed tracks, or are you usually better at the short tracks?
I definitely like the speedways and the bigger tracks more.
Well, I could tell because your driving seemed to fit. Now, I saw a little bit of an exchange. I think Mark Vickers ended up kind of dropping down the grid. He was sitting up in 2nd place. Did you guys ever have a little bit of contact? There was somebody that he contacted with, and I couldn't quite remember who it was.
Got caught just a little bump in the first half, and then coming to the caution, I was getting up with the leaders there, and I think I slid up into Caden just a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, but you guys obviously came out fine. No big ones today.
Yeah, that was great. Always fun when we can just race and not have to worry about any big crashes that take out somebody's night.
Yep, that's a good point. Well, man, it was a pleasure. This is obviously my first time getting to cast for you guys, and I'm excited for a full season. I do want to ask you, out of the calendar that we have coming up, which race are you the most excited for?
Kind of looking forward to the Kansas and Talladega.
What makes you like those two specifically? Obviously, they're speedways.
Yeah, speedways for one. Talladega's a blast. It's so just white knuckle driving the whole time.
Crazy.
And we've had great races, and I'll have to mention that's where I picked up my first Wednesday night dash win in the ARCA cars was Talladega.
Wow. Well done. Well, are you do you think you've got, obviously you've got the first win of the season. Are you already starting to think ahead and look at the championship?
Not at all. I just want to have some fun here. There's those 3 tracks in the middle there: Darlington, Pocono, and Chicago. Yeah, those might be a lot of fun.
Oh, Chicago's going to be great. I am sitting on the edge of my seat, excited for that one. That one's going to be amazing. Well, hey, thank you so much for jumping in here. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you next week for Talladega.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome to the league. I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Alrighty, guys. That was our race winner. And I do want to say thank you so much to everybody for coming down. For those of you guys that did watch and appreciate and had a good time, I really, really appreciate you guys. Again, next week, we will be at Talladega here for FR Racing. It's going to be one heck of a time. The week after that, we're going down to Darlington, getting down to the short tracks. And the one I'm the most excited for, as I already mentioned, is Chicago, February 22nd. Until next time, my name is Eli Singh, and I do want to say again, thank you so much to our sponsor, FR Racing's Garage Talk. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful season. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you later.